speaking of pans, I won't be using one for a while. I still have an electric stove, no place to plug it in. Hey. Are you out of control? Yes, one of the junk men did come by immediately, within seconds after my gas stove was placed in the alleyway. And within minutes, my gas stove was gone. And I'm left with the electric stove I can't plug in. I could really hillbilly this thing big time. There's got to be a way. There must be a way. Well, if I knew one of my neighbors had the 220 with the plug, must be an extension cord available. Could run it to their house. That has to be against code. Who cares? I can't wait for code enforcement to visit my humble abode on Illinois Avenue. Give me a break. Hey, everything's up to code almost. Most of it, kinda. Taped together. Sealing off the... there's no construction going on at my house. What are you talking about? My house is gone! My house is gone! What do we got? Traffic backing up over at Roscoe's hot dog stand? The lines are blowing up. They are blowing up. Let's go to the mayor of Gary, Ludi Cray. Hello, Ludi.
Hello there, preacher. I had a traffic update for you, but you took so long out there smoking your parliaments that, hell, I was home by now.
Okay, well, maybe.
But anyways, there is a rather serious accident at Main Street and Indianapolis Boulevard, heading southbound. It was backing traffic up from that location in front of McDonald's there, in front of McDonald's, all the way back past 45th Avenue. I just wanted to tell you because I know traffic plays a trumpet over here.
That is between Highland, the south side of Highland and the north side of Cherville.
Yeah, where all them white people live there, Highland and Cherville.
Albert's Jewelry Store.
Yes, and yes.
Was it car versus Hummer or what?
No, my Hummer is fine, thank you. Maybe if I see you Thursday, I'll bring you one too.
It's just a car accident, car versus car. But it looked kind of bad there. Cruz was on the scene. Hammond's loss is your gain, Rudy, because Roscoe, I think, has been doing some.
Well, he is always fine to come on down and sell his Frankfurters. I don't mind. He can, we do have, licenses to hand out. And, well, at this point, with the way the city is going, any revenue would be just fine.
You're more of a hot sausage kind of guy, I thought.
Well, I do like the hot links, but, since I have contracted my issue, which is preventing me from bringing Gary to greatness for a third term, the doctor said to lay off the hot links, the chitterlings, the brisket, the pork sausage, all that stuff. But I just can't handle that vegetarian garbage.
All the good
tell
food.
My doctor, but I ain't listening to him.
You're out. That's one whole food group you're missing. The good food group.
That and my grease and formula. Yes.
Thanks, Rudy. I appreciate it. Thanks for the traffic tip.
Have a fine day there, Reverend. Bye.
Thank you. Ludi Cray. Let's go to D of H, who's cruising God only knows where.
Yeah, I'm in beautiful Chicago Heights now. But, I'm going to be interested in listening to this show tomorrow. If he has a business permit and if he is doing everything right, I thought he was just like a guy, walking around selling hot dogs like that guy sells tamales in the bars at night. And my whole thing was liability. If he gives me a bad preacher dog and I get sick from food poisoning, who do I go to?
Well, he's not any different than the Hessville restaurant or anything else except he's got wheels. But the Hessville restaurant doesn't. This ordinance, the McWeeny ordinance, does not affect them, but it does affect Roscoe, and that McWeeny ordinance supersedes everything else, Grace. So it is. He's not. He can't operate. If he operates legally, Dave, he's got to keep moving, and he won't be able to make a living. So in essence,
you know, Chicago, when you're a street performer or if you're a vendor like that, you buy a medallion. You have a medallion, you know, and you purchase a medallion every year to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm wondering if they need to go with something like that, or if they're just messing with them. So I'm kind of like the whole hand washing thing. There's a lot of fast food carryout places, you know, locally that you walk in and you're just giving food out of the window. They don't have hand washing facilities.
Well, the women that were selling the snow cones in Hammond, they were nowhere near any soap. Probably all week long they weren't near any soap, and they were operating. I guess they closed them down. I'm not sure.
Well, go to the subway on the corner of Arizona, 169th. You know, they have 17 inches of bulletproof glass. I don't see any place I could wash my hands in there. Okay,
there's a couple of options there, and thanks, Grace. Get a mulligan if you can. A little bit later before we have to go. By the way, coming up tonight is Hey Harlow following the Region Underground, and then Ramwood Rack with Music Underdogs. Now you're all caught up. How about, I know there's some spots in downtown Hammond where there's vacant land. I know there is. And why can't we find a good location for these guys on in an open field where nothing is happening at all, near Sibley and State? There must be something down there. I hate to have to be the one to go down there and look around. But Al Salinas, that's your district. Why don't you go look around down there? And you could have one of your carts there too. And let's make it nice. Let's take advantage of this problem and turn lemons into lemonade. And find a little spot down there where you not only could fit Roscoe, but you could fit the pretzel guy and the elephant ear guy and the tamale guy and Salinas's guys. And all y'all can stand and survive and thrive side by side in a little field, and maybe we could even put a little roadway that goes into it. And we could turn it into something that doesn't have to be some stinking catastrophe that's politically motivated. Is that too much work? Now, doggone it, the city of Hammond, which I told you long ago, this college-bound thing, and the reason I'm bringing it up now is because it's right smack dab in middle of downtown Hammond. You push that thing down there, but you push the hot dog guy out. Kids like hot dogs. I've saw it on the television. Kids love hot dogs. But you got this charter school thing down there now. You have a problem with sex offenders down there. There's lots of other stuff you could be addressing. There's lots of other things you could be addressing more seriously. But is it asking too much to put one of your geniuses on this thing and go, let's turn this into a positive here? Everybody's always complaining about the preachers. I always beating up the negative. There's never nothing positive. Well, here you go. Take this negative away from me, which I don't want, and turn it into a positive. You haven't solved the problems in downtown Hammond for 35 years. You still can't figure out how to run a bus system that works in Hammond. There's so many things you can't figure out. Can't you figure this little problem out? I don't want this thing on my plate. It just came to me. But I'm not going to, for 1 second, sit here and believe that Mark Kowinski up in the 1st District at the lake has any interest in this personally. It was brought to him. I'd like to know who brought this to Mark Kowinski. This isn't even in his district, this particular problem. But I know that it also encompasses all of Hammond, so maybe that's an unfair question or criticism. This is all over Hammond. But everywhere in Hammond, we don't have this issue. What, Roscoe couldn't set up in the parking lot across the street from Morton High School, that huge parking lot? Why are we trying to prevent people from making a little money? I just don't get it. I don't get it. The College Bound program will ultimately, based on its success, the more successful that it is, will collapse upon itself. It's already happening. You talk about a Ponzi scheme, well, here it is, because that's what College Bound is. We're all out there paying for it, but all of a sudden, and already, Hammond is now asking the council members to give $70,000 apiece towards College Bound. That's $420,000 of my money and your money that's coming out of the coffers to fix the roads and do things like this for Roscoe and the rest of the vendors who just want to make a couple of bucks. And that could actually be something cool down there if you did it right. If you did it right, if you took a little, put a little thought into it, a little creativity, you could do something really cool and solve this problem at the same time. But that's not going to stop me from telling y'all that the College Bound is already collapsing upon itself. We already have to ask the council to come up with over $400,000 that's going to be diverted directly to College Bound. So it's no longer just out there with the original funding. It's now coming out of the money that fixes our roads, replaces our bad street lights, whatever the case may be. Hey, if we don't need the money, where has it all been going? If we haven't been spending it, then what's been happening to it? If my councilman, Chico Hinojosa, doesn't need the $70,000 that he's going to give the College Bound, then how were we getting by before? What's going to happen next? What am I not going to get in the 6th District? Because $70,000 is now going to the charter school in downtown Hammond. Once you decide to look up the definition of Ponzi scheme, you're going to see that I am exactly correct, which is why I was not at all insulted when Rick Perry called Social Security a Ponzi scheme, because he's right. It's what it is. Taken from a lot of people to take care of a few. And ultimately, sooner or later, it runs out on you. And that's a topic for another day, because I'd like to know what the hell they've been doing with the Social Security money. Who's been borrowing that and spending it on what?